Welcome to Diecast Restos. I'm Jason and this is Lesney's pairing of a Matchbox 15 and 16B Rotinoff Super Atlantic Tractor with 8-wheel trailer. This set replaced the earlier Diamond T Prime mover and 6-wheel trailer. The tractor arrived in 1959, with the trailer following in 1960. My Rotinoff is missing its tow hook, has a broken rear wheel, and is otherwise generally untidy. The formerly orange trailer has been painted over in green. Here's how the pair should look in better condition. And this is a real Rotinoff Super Atlantic Tractor. I knew nothing of Rotinoff before researching for this voiceover, so this will be a real journey of discovery. The company was founded in Colnbrook, Berkshire, England by Belarusian émigré George Rotinoff. George was the son of a Russian engineer who set about building heavy haulage ballast tractors in 1952. He developed the 140-ton gross Atlantic and the 200-ton gross Super Atlantic. The Super, which this casting is based on, utilised the power of an 8-cylinder supercharged 16.2-litre Rolls-Royce engine. This produced 335 brake horsepower via a 6-speed gearbox, alongside a 3-speed auxiliary box for more testing conditions. Kirkstall axles were used due to the heavy nature of operations to be undertaken. Its fuel tank capacity is 580 litres across 2 tanks. There is room for 3 people inside the cabin, while there are spots for standing outside the vehicle to assist with traffic control. Braking is controlled by compressed air, with the front drums measuring 19 inches by 4 inches and the rears 19 inches by 7 inches on the 6x4 vehicle. Its wheelbase measures 17 feet 3 inches and is 9 foot 9 wide. The first prototypes were built in 1957 and it went into production in 1958. The Swiss Army bought 10 in both Atlantic and Super Atlantic configuration that year. These would pull Schürrle trailers with a payload capacity of 50 tons. They were used to transport Panzer 55-57 Centurion tanks, thus reaching a total weight of 104 tons. These were used up until 1991. Between 30 and 50 Super Atlantics were built during the production span of 1958 to 1962. Other Rotinoff models included the longer wheelbase 24-foot Viscount. With its gross train weight of 60 to 65 tons and a 6-cylinder Rolls-Royce engine, these were utilised in Australia following their introduction in 1955. Rotinoff also built a one-off dumper called the Pacific. George Rotinoff died in 1959 and the company was acquired by Lowmount Vehicle and Engineering Limited. When Lowmount ended vehicle production in 1962, the Rotinoff design rights were acquired by Atkinson Vehicles. They were briefly sold under the Atkinson name. However, Atkinson would go on to develop their own construction and haulage tractor called the émigré 6x6, using the knowledge acquired from the Rotinoff acquisition. Lesney came along in 1959 to replicate the then year-old Super Atlantic as an addition to their Matchbox series. The 15B tractor replaced the 15A Diamond T Prime mover, which had been introduced in 1955. All models were painted orange, but with all Lesney products of this era, shades could vary. A black painted base plate retained the front axle and is fixed to the body via 2 rivets. The model's wheels are 10mm in diameter at the front, and the rear set of 4 are 11mm. It also had a spare 11mm wheel push fit onto an opening on the ballast bed using a shortened pin. Very occasionally, these can be found with the smaller front wheels attached. The initial run of grey plastic wheeled models was promptly replaced by black wheels. These early models also had crimped axle ends before quickly changing to rounded. Rotinoffs had silver trim applied to the front grille and front bumper. It was produced up until 1963, when it was replaced by the Dennis Tipax refuse truck, a model I've previously worked on and will link to here. This is my finished tow hook fix, meaning the model is now ready for primer. While the older 15A trailer had only 6 wheels, its replacement had an extra axle. This didn't arrive until 1960 though, meaning early collectors would have had to pair the 4-year-old trailer to their brand new tractor the year before. The 16B was longer than its predecessor in addition to its extra axle. However, its rear ramp was now fixed, where the older casting had a lifting ramp. The first issue of the 8-wheeled trailer saw it painted in the same tan shade as the 16A. This was soon changed to orange to match the tractor. There was no trim applied to the trailer. The towing hitch is a shaped piece of wire which connects to the casting via 2 holes in the frontmost axle retainers. These could be left unpainted or painted over in the casting's corresponding shade. Earlier tan models often had 7.5mm grey plastic wheels fitted, while orange trailers are most commonly found with black wheels of the same size. Orange trailers with grey plastic wheels in 7.5 or 8mm diameters are very valuable rarities. Similar with the tractor, grey wheeled examples are worth a lot, doubly so if you find a grey wheeled model with the crimped axle ends. The trailer was replaced in 1963 by the 16C Scammell snowplow, one of the very few models from the Matchbox regular wheel series I have yet to work on. By adding in the towing hook, the trailer is essentially complete, with it now just requiring a touch of chrome on all of those axle ends. After the first coat of primer to the tractor, I swiftly realised I'd missed the glaringly obvious chunk missing from the casting. There was a significant lump taken out of the roof of the cab, while there was also some pitting to the bonnet and bed. Now I'm tidying up the filled-in areas with my file and emery sponge. Once it's all smoothed out again, it gets a second coat of primer. It's looking miles better now after that extra bit of attention, meaning I can move on to giving it some colour to match the trailer. This high coat Ford Signal Orange is certainly lighter than that of this model's original paint. However, it did vary in shade from factory, and the only other orange I have right now is Tamiya's, which I am not a massive fan of. I've found that has easily pulled far too often in the past. Once that's had a couple of coats and dried, I use my Molotow chrome pens to draw in that front end trim. I do like the cast-in Rotinoff sword emblem on the grille, it's very distinctive. And then with the trim dry, it's time to lock in the detail with a clear coat. The rear axles are then reattached to the casting, complete with the utilised spare wheel. The repaired previously damaged one now sits on top of the ballast bed. I give that a few taps to secure it. Then all 5 axle ends get a chrome topping. The last thing to do is to reattach that small base plate. After that is secured down with 2 3mm M2 screws, it's time to test the model's towing abilities. This was how my 15 and 16B Rotinoff Super Atlantic and 8-wheeled trailer looked. The tractor had no tow hook, a broken rear wheel, and was just a bit scruffy all over. The trailer was okay, aside from its aftermarket dousing of green paint, which had also covered the wheels. Those wheels were a real pain to remove from the axles due to rust. Their small size didn't help matters either. But this is how the pair look now. They're both gleaming in a fresh coat of Highcoat's Ford Signal Orange, matching as they should once more. I swapped the broken wheel for the spare from the bed of the tractor. I then repaired the broken one and used that to replace the spare. I crafted a new tow hook that not only looks the part, but it works brilliantly too. It's had some nice new chrome to the nose as well to finish it off. As for the trailer, gone is the splodge of green in favour of orange all over. I removed it from the wheels and the towing hook too. Those axles are now sparkling after the rust was ground off, replaced with a kiss of chrome on the tips. If you've learnt something new today or just enjoyed the transformation, leave the video a like. Tell me what you thought of the build in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to keep up with all my latest projects. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again for the next one. Bye for now.